Gish, and welcome to TPG's Revenues. As you know, my show is called Get Real with Revenue Marketing. And today we're going to talk about a little bit around the definition of revenue marketing, but we're really going to go into the characteristics of revenue marketing. And as we go through it, just kind of listen in and see if any of these characteristics fit for you. So now the definition of revenue marketing, and I talked about this in my last show, is transforming marketing from a cost center to a repeatable, predictable, and scalable revenue machine by building a digital foundation and accelerating the journey with customer centricity. And again, this is a definition that has definitely evolved over time. I'll have to go back and take a look at the original one I had, but it was pretty tactical. It was all about leads, and they just drop through the funnel, and then marketing has that lead and they pass it over to sales, right? But again, our world has shifted and changed so much since 2013. So, and also last time when we were together, I talked about how, I said, what kind of person do you want to be known as, right? Do you want to be known as the pens and mugs department, or do you want to be known as a data-driven business unit? Do you want to be known as the sales support team, and when they say jump, you say how high? Or do you want to be known as a revenue partner? Do you want to be known as the event producers or the revenue predictors? And finally, do you want to be known as a cost center or a revenue center? So that really is what we say when we think about revenue marketing and recoding that DNA of marketing. Now, within that, there are definitely 9 characteristics that have been formed from 3 key market forces. Excuse me. And those 3 market forces are revenue accountability, because that is the result. And no matter what you say, no matter what you want to do, if you are not accountable for revenue, you will not get a seat at the table. That is just the way the world works. The second market force is all about customer centricity, and that is very much an accelerant. And then the third is really digital transformation. So, and then within each of those market drivers, there are 3 major characteristics. And what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to talk about each of these market drivers, and then we'll dive down into the characteristics of each. So let's take a look at market force number 1, revenue accountability. So the definition is marketing is now part of the revenue team and has a responsibility to drive pipeline, to drive revenue, growth, repeat business, and improve margins. And you need to approach this with a very different mindset. And again, I'll talk about mindset constantly because it is so critical to you really adopting change. So revenue marketers are revenue and growth oriented, and they run marketing like any other business line with a P&L. I love this quote from a revenue marketing pioneer. His name is Jim Kainer. And he says, if you aren't driving credible revenue results, you won't have a job for long. This is so very, very, very true in the marketing world today. So the other thing I'll say about revenue accountability is talk to any CMO. Probably 80% of them have some kind of incredible amount of force and pressure and expectation on them to drive some kind of credible revenue in this digital world that we live in. Yet only about a third actually still report any credible revenue metrics. So big, big, big responsibility, and really CMOs have been slow to go on this, but it is incredibly important. So the second market force is really customer centricity. And I will say that 10 years ago, people weren't talking that much about it. It was all about the product. But because of the digital world that we live in, and because customers are like one swipe away from being at your competitor's website and getting onto their, digital conversation list, that, you can't just think you're going to compete on product alone. In the digital world, it's how are you having these conversations with people? And customer centricity is defined as a company-wide competence to sense and respond to customers in almost real time. Amazon is the perfect example for so many things related to the customer. The first snow of the year is going to hit Boston in 3 days. Everybody who's bought any kind of snow equipment or any kind of, any kind of snow devices at all from Amazon, and who have that zip code, 2 days, 3 days before the snow hits, all of a sudden you're getting messaging around, don't you need a new shovel? Don't you need some salt? Whatever it is you need in Boston, because I don't know how to do anything with snow except for avoid it. But that is the real-time essence that we're talking about. And revenue marketers have a really unique opportunity to just take advantage of this move, because marketers are sitting on a world of digital information, behavioral information that they can mine, that they can set up these conversations to mine more, and then to synthesize, and then to be able to make real-time decisions, not just within marketing, but across the company. I love this quote from Megan Amato. She's at TraceLink, and I have it. This is: "We harness priceless intelligence that predicts customer behavior, fuels exceptional end-to-end customer experiences, and shapes our understanding of key personas and customer journeys. Our data-driven approach and customer insights accelerate pipeline creation and revenue delivery in a new value-based world." And she is, again, head of marketing operations, and it is a strategic marketing operations organization that's really enabling marketing to take advantage of this pivot towards customer centricity as a major go-to-market theme. So that's our second market force. The first market force was revenue accountability, and the second market force was all about customer centricity. And our third market force is really digital transformation. So let's take a look at that definition. Digital transformation is the adoption of digital technology to transform services or businesses through replacing non-digital or manual processes with digital processes, or replacing older tech with new tech. Here's the thing about digital transformation. Pretty much anytime you introduce a new piece of technology, you're changing how business happens. That's the easiest example. And a higher level example would be that you change something about a business process. And for revenue marketers, that's actually how revenue gets done. If you think about it, prior to the digital world, it was always about sales. It would be the sales organization that had all the conversations. They knew everything about the customer. But in this digital world, with digital conversations and digital footprints and digital body language everywhere, it's now marketing who actually can see and understand that customer. And again, that how we sell, how we get revenue, it's digital technologies that is transforming that fundamental process in an organization. So for digital transformation, the mindset of a revenue marketer is to optimize the use of technology and data to accelerate the customer centricity and to drive revenue and growth. So those are our three market drivers that are informing and shaping what it means to be a revenue marketer. It's the revenue accountability, it's the customer centricity, and it's the digital transformation. Let's now go to our chart, and let's take a look at some characteristics that are common in each of these areas. And I have to say that when I was putting this together, it took me a while to put it together, because I had to synthesize things that I could have had 3 market drivers and 100 characteristics, but I really wanted to focus on the higher level things, those things that were most pervasive. So let's take a look at 3 characteristics of a revenue marketer that are associated with revenue accountability. The first is you are a revenue partner. You are no longer when sales says jump, you ask how high. You're not just a partner, but you are a peer, because how revenue gets created in a digital world is 180 degrees different than before we had a digital world. So you become a revenue partner. You become a peer to the sales organization, and you do that across the entire customer life cycle, not just on getting those net new logos. So that's number one. You are a revenue partner. Number two, if you're going to be a revenue partner, you must understand what the heck the sales process is, what the heck sales organization is focused on, what they're doing, how they behave, how they react. So I've actually seen organizations that had a liaison between the sales and marketing organization, and that liaison actually was from the world of sales because that person would know and understand. And their whole purpose was to make sure that sales and marketing was on the same page, but also to educate marketing into the world of sales, and then to educate sales into the world of marketing. Because if you don't understand all the possibilities, you will have a suboptimal effort applied in a highly digital world. So revenue marketers, you know, the VPs and the CMOs that I talk to who are revenue marketers, they talk and sound just like a VP of sales. They've got a number, you know, they know where they are against quota. They know how the sales team is doing. They know who's not doing well. They know everything. And that's a third characteristic. Revenue marketers have a quota. They actually have a number. In 2018, I finished up my dissertation for my Doctors of Business Administration. And my dissertation, my study, was about how B2B CMOs adopt financial accountability. And 100% of the time, those that were adopting financial accountability, the CMO had a number, they had a quota, and at least 50% of the time, that quota was applied to variable comp at the marketing team level. You're going to see more and more of this because nothing drives behavior like compensation. So those are three key characteristics, you know, that the market force of marketing must be accountable for revenue. So marketing is becoming a revenue partner, they understand sales, and they have a quota. All right, so let's move to customer centricity. And in the world of revenue marketing, customer centricity is this accelerant that is just fast tracking not only what marketing can do to impact revenue, but how your company perceives your value. And so let's talk about that. First of all, revenue marketers have a holistic view of the customer. My business partner, Jeff Pedowitz, has a new book coming out. I think it'll be around April or May, could be even June, and it's being published by Forbes. And it's called F the Funnel, and you can fill in the blank for what F means there. But what he's talking about in the book is we can't just have this singular siloed view of the first part of how a customer interacts with us. As revenue marketers, we have to view the entire customer relationship, the lifetime journey. And that's actually, you know, we've put it into a loop. We call it the TPG loop. So you have to see the holistic view of the customer and not just be responsible for getting net new logos, but also retention, also new business and existing accounts. Because again, once you have access to that digital body language and you can have those digital conversations, you're going to know first around what they're thinking and what you might do to improve your relationship with that customer. So that's very important. And because of that, the next characteristic occurs. Marketing becomes the customer authority. How cool is that? Aren't you tired of sales saying, I know all about the customer, you don't know anything, let's do it my way. But now that you have access to all of this digital body language, all of this intent data, all of this conversational data, so you know what customers are thinking, how they're responding, what they're not responding to, and you can get that in almost real time. Who's the customer expert now? It becomes the marketing organization. And then finally, in that customer centricity, in that market force, marketing must have a customer-centric MarTech stack. Now, MarTech, as you guys know, is just blown up in the last few years. There's what, like 8,000 pieces of technology or something like that. I mean, I think most people that we work with has 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 pieces of technology. Marketing is spending more money on technology now than the IT department is spending on technology. But you can't have a stack that is just based on technology. You have to think about that customer journey, put the customer in the center, and then say around that customer, what is the set of technologies that we need to best engage with that customer no matter where they are? And that is a customer-centric MarTech stack, which is inclusive of both marketing and sales technologies, at least, and maybe even customer success technology. So within that customer centricity market force, marketing takes a holistic view of the customer journey and participates. They become the customer authority in many things, and they also have a customer-focused MarTech stack, okay? Our third market force, not a stranger to any of you listening to me on this call, is digital transformation. It is the foundation. And many companies that we work with, we actually see marketing leading digital transformation. And why is that? Because if you think about how much technology marketers spend on technology, and if you think about how long they have been using pretty sophisticated marketing automation systems and other kinds of systems, they have already begun the digital transformation of what it means to be a marketer and what marketing can accomplish. So a lot of times marketing can take that expertise and that background and infuse it across the organization to help the rest of the organization also embrace digital transformation. And it's a must-have. It's not even a nice-to-have for any organization. You must transform digitally in your practices, in your business, in every part of what you do and how you connect with that customer. It's a necessity. It's not even maybe we'll do that next year. You need to be doing that right now. Also within digital transformation, like I described in customer centricity, how marketing needed to have a customer-centric MarTech stack, they also need to have a strategic marketing operations organization. And a strategic marketing operations organization is one that supports marketing driving that business result. And again, customer centricity, customer focus is an accelerant to get to that business result. You know, a regular marketing ops organization just really focuses on efficiency. Are we doing things well? And effectiveness. Are we doing the right things? But a strategic marketing operations organization enables the attainment of revenue, enables the acceleration and use of customer information, and leads digital transformation. So that strategic marketing operations element is very important. And then finally, the last characteristic under digital transformation is that revenue marketers, of course, now make data-driven decisions, but they also provide actionable business insights. And again, think about the Amazon example. It's going to snow 3 days in Boston. And all of a sudden, if you're on Amazon, you get these ads that pop up and say, don't you need a shovel? You know, and behind the scenes, it's like, it's been like 8 years since you bought one, and we know yours is probably worn out by now. So it's those kinds of actionable business insights that really gives marketing that opportunity to elevate their value in the organization. So those are the 9 those are the 9 characteristics, and these are the 3 market forces. So I'd love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll be publishing quite a bit this year through LinkedIn. We have a lot of other revenues, live streams. My partner, Jeff Pedowitz, will be doing some, and some other key folks in our organization. And we all have different topics and things that we talk about. And I just want everybody to remember, it is a great day to be a revenue marketer. And I'll see you on the next segment of Get Real with Revenue Marketing. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. I got to just find the button. There we go. See you guys.